Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, you are not visible.
Hello.
Sir, you are not visible.
Should we start or we should wait for the others to join?
Sir, I think we should start now.
उधर वाला बंद किया ये एक रहने दो ना उधर शोर बहुत अच्छा वो भी बंद हो गया वो भी बंद हो गया क्या
So please turn on your video.
एक रहने दो बस एक Hello. Are you people able to listen to me? Right now I am connected from my mobile. I am trying to connect from my laptop also. It is a bit slow. The connectivity is a bit slow. It is not getting linked immediately. So till such time the laptop becomes functional, I will continue from the mobile.
No problem, sir. We can hear you.
I will wait for a couple of minutes so the laptop also boots in and others also join, those who may be a little late in joining, so that I don't have to repeat myself.
Sure, sir.
Kindly bear with me.
Sure, sir.
How do I know whether I am audible to all? Whether
Sir, you
the
are
link is
audible.
proper?
Sir, you
You
are
are
audible.
Sir,
audible.
you are
Yes,
audible,
sir.
sir. We can hear
You
you.
are.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
fine, good. Before we go on to the details of the subject as such, one basic thing which you all must be knowing, but I will like to repeat that we have 5 sessions with us, and in those 5 sessions, we are supposed to do the overview of the subject. And since the offline classes are not possible, so it is online only. So, with all the attendant handicaps of the online class, main casualty being connectivity and slow connection and all those things, and interaction being limited comparatively because of the same reason. And since it is not possible in to cover all the topics in the subject in detail within these, say, 5 into 2, 10 hours, we will normally be having bird's eye view of the subject. The normal expectation from this session is that these are supposed to be the counseling sessions, with the idea that students are studying at home, and these sessions are meant for clarifying certain doubts which they may be having on certain issues. I don't know whether every one of you have got the study material or it is just downloaded online from the IGNOU site. So whether you have been able to devote time studying for it or not, again, I am not sure. If you can tell me, fine. Otherwise, I will try to start from the beginning.
Not as much as required.
It may be, little slow to begin with because the basic concepts I will like to clarify. And then as we go progress, then maybe only touch upon the main topics rather than going into the details. Because that is
Sir,
because of the overall time constraint, because we have limited time only, and we cannot, we don't have the luxury of having detailed discussions and covering each and every point. And of course, one handicap which remains with this is that of all the students, people keep joining in between, and then they may be having some doubts about some topic, some point which has already been covered. Again, because of the time paucity, that luxury of repeating time and again the same topic is not available to us. Though we'll try to clarify some doubts, but I expect that all of you give due attention and understand the point right in the beginning so that repetition is not required to be done. Do you have hard copies of the study material? You have only soft copies of the study material. Anybody can
sir, we
clarify.
we have got just the soft copies, no
Your
hard
Only
copies.
voice
soft
is
We'll
very
copies.
low. I am not able to get it.
Sir, we have got only soft copies. We will not
Only
be
soft
provided with
copies.
the hard copies.
Okay. 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 That is, of course, the pandemic and related issues have had its toll. Hard copy is not available with me even. So, uh, but I have an outline of the syllabus you have. Of course, there is some revision, but new one, as per the new one, we'll try to do whatever best is possible. Now, before we proceed on the topic as such, I don't know whether that it will be two-way interaction will be possible because the voice which is coming is very low. But I would have preferred to know that what you understand by the marketing. What is your understanding of the word marketing?
Creating awareness of the product.
Pardon? Hello?
Hello.
Reaching out to people with our product or services.
I think there is some problem with this thing, the connectivity. I'm not able to hear you clearly. No, this voice is very, very low, exceptionally low. Okay, I will go as per this thing. One clarity which I will like to make is that Yeah, Bhavya Gupta has typed that creating clarity in the minds of the people about the product. Yes, that is one aspect of it. Making people aware of your product is also part of marketing. Marketing, in fact, if you look at it that way, involves all activities starting right from the point what product should be made available to the market, to the consumers, up to the feedback from the consumers about the product or the service which they have had and how their experience is about it, whether they like the product, whether they found some deficiencies in the product, whether they will like the product to be modified or withdrawn. So why the market research is required to be done? The starting point, in fact, if you look at it that way, will be trying to determine what kind of product or service you should be able to introduce in the market. What kind of product is not there available with the consumers, which they will like to have, or to find out what are the products which are already available, but the customers look forward to having some additional features therein. They want the product to continue, but have some modified features in that. Or like what happened during this pandemic, till then it was basically physical marketing, and very few people were familiar with the online marketing, how to place an order, how to get the product. Pandemic forced people to make changes from the offline to the online mode of purchasing. The marketing process itself became mainly dependent upon online, so e-commerce and all. So this kind of change in the mode of delivery, the distribution, getting the orders, this is also could be also be part of the marketing research. And if you look at it, the scenario over the last 2-3 years, you find that some of the e-commerce firms which had got into the market early for this purpose, they have been able to make a killing in terms of the market share and the profits which they have generated. Whereas some of the sectors of the economy have nosedived, like hospitality industry, travel, which they lost their market, but e-commerce sites have flourished. So what I am trying to make it clear is that all those activities, starting from market research, then determining what to produce, how to produce, at what rate to be made, make it available, what will be the distribution channels, who are the end consumers, getting feedback from them, all could be part of the marketing process. Different management gurus have defined it differently. Different terminologies have been used. Of course, you can go through your study material, understand the nuances, how one differs from the other. But basically, it is a process of ascertaining the consumer needs, converting them into products and services, moving those products and services to the final consumer segment with three different components in focus. One is profitability, second is customer satisfaction, and third is ensuring optimum use of the resources available to the organization. Profitability, of course, is understandable because every business organization is in the market for making profit, except for maybe some NGOs and some government organizations whom the profit is not the primary motive. Of course, generation of resources will be motive for even them. But business organizations, commercial organizations, if they are not making any profit, they have no reason to be in the market. They will wind up, or they will diversify into some other products. Customer satisfaction is the most important because if the customer is not satisfied, what will happen? Consumers will shift to the some other producers, some other service providers, and you will be losing the business. And end result may be again winding up of the organization. Third important component is ensuring optimal use of resources available to the organization. No firm has access to unlimited resources. Each firm has limited resources, and if those resources are not utilized efficiently, ensuring the optimum use, then end result is wastage. And wastage means loss to the organization. In this context, two terms which are used in the normal course interchangeably have specific meanings in the marketing: efficiency and effectiveness. What is efficiency? Between the two organizations, suppose end result is A, and one firm uses 100 units of resources to achieve that result, and another uses 90 units to achieve the same result, then the one who is using 90 units of the resources is more efficient. Easy to understand. Effectiveness. Effectiveness is linked with the results. You have set out to achieve a particular target. Both firm A and firm B achieve that. So both are effective as far as achievement of the results is concerned. But one uses 100 units of resources, another uses, say firm A uses 100 units, firm B uses 90 units. So firm B is efficient as well as effective, whereas firm A is effective but not efficient. This distinction is clear. So for a firm, for a producer or a service provider, aim is to provide results effectively and with efficiency. Philip Kotler, one of the management gurus, have used the term, just three words: meeting needs profitably. You meet consumer needs, but profitably. That becomes the essence of marketing. Hope this much is clear. Then some of the other definitions, like even this initially what I repeated, it was given by AMA, that marketing is performance of business activities directing the flow of goods and services from producer to the consumer or the user. Later they revised it to include the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivery and exchanging offers that have value for customers and society at large, customer, clients, partners and society at large. So in this, they have used the word exchange process, exchanging offerings. So they have highlighted the importance of exchange process. What does exchange means? When do you exchange something, what do? You give something, you receive something in return. In the market scenario, what happens is in the market, what we normally do is we give the money and get some products in return. Of course, the old system before the money markets were properly developed, it used to be barter system. You give a product, get other product in return. Like a farmer may hand over the food grains, he may get something, say some utensils and all from the potter. That time before the metallic ones came into being. What happens in the whole process? That you are trying to create some value for the customer. When the customer does the exchange, he gives the money, he gets some product in return, and of course he goes for the exchange process because of the feeling that he should be getting some value from the product. The management group Philip Kotler said that what should the aim of the marketing firm is to provide superior customer value. Superior basically means that give what customer expects. Customer has some expectation. If you are giving him more than that, then that results in the superior customer value. The value the benefits and the cost of acquisition of the product. Now this value will be dependent upon product or the service, the price involved. With the improvement in the quality and the service, benefits will go up. But if the price also goes up, price increases, because of the increase in costs, the value decreases. So what should be the aim? Lower cost, resulting in lower price, and at the same time, superior quality and superior service. This much is clear. Now, we had talked of the market research with reference to the consumer needs. What are the needs? What do we know as needs? Again, here another term which is normally used is needs and wants. In the common usage, again these two terms are used interchangeably. But in the marketing context, they convey specific meanings. When you feel the need for something, that indicates that you are feeling deprived of that something. Something which you feel that it should be available to you, but it is not available to you, so you are have a feeling of being deprived of that thing. Is indicative of your need. But what can happen is that people may need something but may not want it. Like say preventive health checkup. Preventive health checkup is needed. Everybody should get it. But since they are not aware of it, maybe because of lack of literacy, maybe because no one has told them about it, they may not want to have it. Similarly, people may want to have something which they don't need, which is not good for them. Like somebody may want to have liquor, drugs, which are not, they don't need it. Just because over a period of time, physically, mentally, they have got used to something, the feeling of deprivation comes because of that, not because the body actually needs it. In this context, you might have heard about it in the HR also, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What are the different types of needs which the person has? Maslow lays it down in 5 categories: physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. What are the physiological needs? Physiological needs refer to the ones which are your physical needs for your physique, that is food, water, shelter, something to keep your body and soul together. You need food, you need water, and you need some kind of shelter. May not be luxurious one, but something which protects you from the vagaries of weather. Safety needs. Once the physical needs are satisfied, the next come the safety needs, which include security, protection. You want to be protected against the upheavals which may come in the society, in the economy. You want to feel secure. So the products like insurance, banking to take care of your security of your funds, for your finances. Insurance to give you an assurance of the safety for meeting your needs which may arise in the future. Third category is social needs. Social needs. Everyone wants to have a sense of belonging, wants to be loved, loved by the family, loved by the friends, peers in the, say, school, college, or if working in the office. So that feeling of belonging is important for making a person feel socially desirable. Next level is esteem needs. Esteem needs are when you try to seek improve your self-esteem by seeking more recognition, better status. One typical example is that if you take the pay scales for the civil services and the educational hierarchy, YC, VC, professors, associate professor, assistant professor, and all lecturer down the line are similar to the civil services. But given a choice between the two, if the person has the choice to join the civil services or join the educational hierarchy, what will be the preferred one? Civil services, because they give a person better recognition and better status in the market. Then at the top is self-actualization. Self-actualization basically means self-development and self-realization. Like say a painter paints the picture, he may not get much money out of it, but it gives him a feeling of that yes, he has created something, and he feels more happy about it than he will do by trying to earn a higher amount of money. So at a certain level, people may reach a level where all the other needs become less important, and they want to depend more upon the self development and self realization. Now, important point with reference to this hierarchy of needs is that a satisfied need is no longer the motivating factor. The needs which have not been satisfied remain the motivating factor for the individual. Like if a person is at a stage where even his basic physiological needs are not satisfied, like he is not having sufficient food, water, and even the shelter, then he is least concerned about the other needs. His basic concern is about the physiological needs. Only when the physiological needs have been satisfied, then he thinks of the safety needs, like security. Like, say, now one example could be that if a person has no job means naturally no money, and no money means no food. Then he is concerned about getting any job. But once he has a job, then he will try to look for a job which has security. Like, say, from a contractual job to a regular job, and say a regular job with some private firm to a big commercial firm, or preferably the government. And the next one will be that wherever you are working, wherever you have got the job, that people accept you as part of the group. You don't want to be in an office or a place where you are having a job, you are getting money, but you are treated as an outcast, not a part of the group. And then, of course, the esteem, which I said, the recognition status between the jobs again, that which jobs gives you better status. Like, say, another example could be the judiciary. Advocates normally earn much more by way of legal fee and all, whereas the salaries of the judges, lower judiciary, high court judges, supreme court judges, are determined by the government, and of course they are limited. But still, when if chosen to be on the bench, most of the people accept that elevation to the bench of the high court or supreme court, even if they have monetary loss, because that gives them a better self-esteem, better status. And maybe, of course, once they retire, they may get back to their profession and make more money. I hope this is clear. This important point again between all this is that the needs which have been satisfied cease to be the motivating factor for the individual. Unsatisfied needs are the ones which motivate the individual to strive harder, and strive for the higher levels of the thing. Now, even a consumer may not be very well aware of what he needs, or his needs may further be broken down into different categories. Like, one could be a level where it is a stated need that yes, I want to open a state account in the bank, so that is my stated need. But the real need may be that I want to open a savings bank account in a public sector bank close to my wherever I stay, close to my residence. Then unstated need could be that I want the bank to give me along with that a debit card and a checkbook facility. I may not state it, but my stated will be that I just want to open account, but it may be inbuilt into that along with the account I will like to have a debit card as well as a checkbook facility. Then of course person may feel happy if uh, if he goes to the bank and the premises are neat and clean, employees behave well. Of course, if you have had a chance to deal with the banks, you may find that most of the time complaint of the customer is that in the public sector banks, the behavior of the staff is not courteous. It may not be outright rude, but at least they are not courteous, and there is no feeling of no going even a little bit out of the way to help the customer. More rule bound than inclination to help the customer. Then of course the in secret need, which is not mentioned, the secret need may be that a bank will offer you. These days the banks offer the net banking facility. Banks also don't want the customers to flock to the branches, because to deal with the individual they have to have more employees, whereas net banking gives them help them save on the number of employees to be deployed, number of counters to be opened at a branch. So the banks want everyone who these days to have a net banking facility in addition to the normal banking facility. Expectation being that once the person has a net banking facility, there will be less need for him to come to the branch. But the person who is opening the account may be not very comfortable with the net banking. So his secret need may be he may be reluctant to confess that he doesn't want the net banking facility. He will like to deal only with the individuals, face to face, offline facility, like our given an option between our online classes and offline classes. I believe that because of the lack of interaction on one-to-one basis, or one to the group or group to the counselor, most others will prefer to have a offline class, but given the circumstances, that option is not available. Though the need is there, we don't have any means of satisfying that. This is clear. I hope the needs are clear. Needs, hierarchy of needs, and the needs from the personal perspective. Now, if a person needs something and wants it also, like I said, some people may need there are certain things which people need but do not want because they are not aware. But hoping that the person needs it and he is made aware and he wants it also, then this has to be backed up by the power to purchase, the money to be able to spend. If there is no purchasing power, that means that whatever they have remains as a need or a want, but does not get converted into demand. But as a marketeer, as a service provider, people are concerned with the demands. Like suppose you have some product which you can make available to the consumer, and there are the market outside, there are a number of buyers, number of people who need it, but you are not concerned, you will not be concerned with all the people who are available, but only those people who have the money, who have the resources, not only money, all the resources, including money is the most important component of it, which they are willing to spend to satisfy that need. They are the ones who are important for the producer or the service provider, because they are the ones who will be willing to exchange their money for the product which you are able to offer. This is clear? Hello? I hope there's no doubt about it, what we have done so far. Okay, then we move on to the next. My laptop is still not functioning. I'm continuing from the mobile only. That is gives additional handicap, but then no option till the connectivity improves or the. Now another distinction, like we made the distinction between needs, wants, and demands. Another distinction which need to be understood for a marketing student is between the customer, consumer, and the user. Normally, the terms users, buyer, consumer, shopper, purchaser are normally used interchangeably. But for a marketing student, each conveys a specific meaning, and that is important to understand. Who is a user? User is a passive term which is used to convey a person who uses something. You use something, you become a user of that product. Or on in the same tone, a consumer, the term is used for someone who consumes a product or a service. User and consumer could be interchangeable to some extent, because whether you are availing a service or whether you are buying a product, end result will be that you are using that. But customer is different. Customer is a person who purchases something. It could be that a customer is there, but he is not the final consumer. Like in the family context, head of the family, or the earning male member of the family, may be the one who purchases things, but user is the family at large. Like say a refrigerator is bought or a car is bought. So head of the family may be consulting all that what kind of fridge we should buy. Maybe wife may have the predominant voice, and if the children are grown up, maybe children also provide some advice that this is the latest in technology. This is the, in terms of family size, what should be the size of the fridge and all. So the head of the family purchases, but it is used by the family as such, not only by the head of the family. In fact, head of the family may not be using it at all. It may be being used more by the wife, and even to some less extent by the children. Advantage of that, like having say the food is not getting spoiled, the cold drinks are available, and all those things. That advantage is being, the benefit is being availed by the head of the family also, but usage as such is by the lady of the house. In the organizational context, it could be that there is a purchase department who buys for the whole of organization, like stationery for the department is purchase. There may be purchase officer, there may be a purchase wing of the organization depending upon the size, who buys that stationery, and it is being distributed all over the uh, office for usage by the rest of the industrial unit. Or say raw material. Raw material is bought by the purchase wing and used by the production department for making the final product of the company. Of course, in some cases, even the users and customers can be different. Like, say, in the TV channels, the customers for those TV channels are the advertisers. Sometimes the word clients is used. Advertisers are the customers for the purpose of placing the advertisements for a particular channel. That is why the issue of TRP ratings come into play. That the channels with higher TRP ratings will get more advertisers, and they may be able to charge even the higher rate from those advertisers. Whereas user of the channel is the audience. Those who are viewing the channel, they are the users. So sometimes, there are TV channel is the same, but users and the customers, there is a distinction between the two. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Hello. I am not able to hear you people. I don't know. Someone is trying to say something, but I am not able to get it. Volume is very, very, very low. Of course, one problem is, unfortunately, I have not got my earphones, so that might have helped improve the this thing. Maybe next time we could will try to have that, and maybe next time the in connectivity may also be better. But I believe that distinction between customer, consumer, and user, and the needs, wants, and the demands is clear. Or if you can just hold for 2 minutes, I will try to see if my laptop starts functioning, and then maybe that voice quality will improve. Just hold for
Okay,
2 minutes.
sir.
No, let me try. Dr. Naran, you are able to hear me, but what the feedback which I am getting, I am not able to listen. So just a minute, just a minute. Let me try if it is possible to. Then on the laptop, the quality may slightly improve. Just a minute. It seems to be connecting, but it is slow. Please be online. Bear with me. Sorry, just 1 minute more. If it doesn't work, then we'll continue on the mobile only. Of course, going back to slightly what we had talked earlier about the value and the customer value to the customer. Now, if a person wants to buy a product, what does he buy? He buys a physical product, but what actually he is buying? While buying a product, he is actually buying a bundle of attributes which he hopes that will give him, will be able to satisfy some of his needs. That is the basic consideration for him, isn't it? Now, there are two things. The expectation of the customers from the product, that what he is buying will give him what kind of benefits. So when a person is buying, most of us are the rational human beings, and some, of course, few are impulsive. And in case of some products like fashion products and all, certain categories of products, it is not rational. It is more dictated by the crowd or by the impulse of the individual. But most of the time, normal human beings, they act rational, and they try to evaluate what price they are being asked to pay and what are the likely benefits which will accrue to them from that product. And it may not necessarily be only the monetary cost, it may also be non-monetary, like how much time does it require to get their product, how much energy will be required. Like if a person is required to buy to a market, say, which needs 1 hour's drive, that means the cost of driving, effort of driving, petrol cost, or if it is going by a cab, the cab cost is there, are also become part of the overall cost. So it is not only the product price, it is the other factors also. End result is that what total price the customer pays, the cost for the customer, and the total benefits. The difference between the two is the value for the customer. A customer, when buying a product, tries to add more value to the himself. Basically, he wants to have either the more benefits or he wants to have the lower cost. What will happen is that in the process, if he is able to get a better value from the competitor, he will move over to the your competitor. He will no longer be with you. That becomes the crux of all the marketing. That you keep either reducing the cost of the product or you keep on improving the quality of the products. You keep on adding to the attributes which a person seeks from you and try to make it that it is better than your product vis-a-vis the competitor's product. I am not getting any luck with the no luck with the laptop link. So we'll continue with this, with the limitations that we propose. Now, beyond the value to the customer, next term used is satisfaction. If the actual performance of the product, the benefits received by the customer are more than the expectations, then the customer is satisfied. Not only the value which he sought to derive from that product has been satisfied, but he has got something more than that. So, determining the value, assessing the value is something which the customer tries to do before he buys the product. He tries to make an assessment of the total benefits which are likely to accrue to him vis-a-vis the price which is being made to pay. Whereas satisfaction is the post-purchase phenomenon. After the purchase has been made, then if the actual experience is more than the expectations, then the customer is satisfied. Sometimes the word consumer surplus is also being used for this purpose. He expected something, he has got more than that, so he has got a surplus over and above. So the distinction between value and satisfaction, hope that is clear. Then the next thing is, what do you call the market? From the individual's point of view, what the market is. See, again, if you look at it sometimes, at home or between the friends and all, a term used is, you are going to market, you are going for shopping, and they say, I am going for marketing, which is not the right term to be used from the marketing point of view. Marketing is derived from the Latin word marketus. Marketus again refers to the it means a place where the buyers and the sellers meet. What was the traditional way where the buyers and sellers met? Hart, weekly hearts. Even, of course, even now there are weekly hearts. In Delhi NCR, at least you have that different areas get a weekly heart on a different days. Or melas, even prior to that, if it was not weekly heart, it used to be periodic melas. And of course, what is the latest in this context? E-commerce sites. E-commerce sites are the ones where the buyers and the sellers meet. Of course, the younger generation, your generation, may be more comfortable with the e-commerce sites, whereas people of my generation, their preference may still be the physical markets, because less tech savvy. Not all, but majority. So that is how we find the market. Market itself is defined by different. I have been able to join from the laptop. Yes. I hope now it is better, slightly better. Someone has to turn on my. I have been able to turn on my mic also. Then now I am closing my mobile and shifting to the laptop. I'm turning off the camera because that consumes more of the data. So losing it will help preserve the data. It will be easier. So is it better? Is it better now in terms of the sound and all? I don't know. I am yet to get the response, but
Sir.
whether
Yes.
you will be able to.
Yes, sir.
Now it is better. Of course, I am can also hear this voice. So better than before. We'll continue on this forum only. I have switched off my mobile. Now, between these different terms, the market, we have, we can distinguish, make a distinction between four different types of markets: consumer markets, business markets, global markets, government market, and non-profit organizations. Consumer markets, easy to define. We have talked of the consumer and the customer. All sorts of goods and services which are essential from the point of view of day-to-day use in the family by the individuals in the family: clothing, furniture, phone, some services, banking, insurance, etc. are part of the consumer market. Business markets consist of the business customers, like manufacturers may have to buy the raw material. Some of the manufacturers buy the semi-finished products from the other producers and use them for making the final products for the consumer market. So there may be intermediaries, there may be final producers. They become all part of the business markets. Global markets, like if we make a distinction between the within the country and other nations, international. So firms which may be dealing with the products which are available across the globe in different countries, both for the purpose of production as well as the consumption. They become part of the global markets. Government, of course, by itself, since the government is a major purchaser of the many of its requirements, but subject to slightly different kind of procedures and the processes, more restrictions on the purchase process. They, as a market, are a market distinct from the other business markets. And of course, non-profit market basically is the NGOs, some religious bodies, some educational institutions, or the government agencies who provide different services, which may be free or maybe just at the cost, not because of the profit motive. They don't look for a profit therein. They become another distinct market. So four or five different kinds of distinction you can make between the markets as well. Now, we go further that marketing philosophies, different marketing philosophies or the concepts which have been made use of at different points of time. There are five distinct stages: production concept, product concept, selling concept, marketing concept, and the holistic marketing concept. Production concept basically corresponds to the stage where the economy is underdeveloped. There is a large number of inherent unsatisfied demands, like people needs are there.
Sir, background is
Hello,
is
hello.
background my sir. Somebody else voice is coming along. Tell or mute him.
Somebody is trying to tell something. It is still not very clear.
Sir, somebody else on that है आवाज इको हो रहा है
ये आवाज
किसी
इको
और
हो
का
रहा है.
माइक खुला किसी और का माइक खुला हुआ है यूजर का
किसी और यूजर का यहाँ मतलब नॉट नियर बाय मी विद इन द से 10-15 फीट एरिया. I don't know anybody else. I have switched off my
सर
mobile
सर
where I was logged in
आपका
earlier.
नील नील करके कोई बंदा है
Pardon?
Nilabjo
उसका
Viswas,
माइक
your mic is open. Please turn it off.
Hello?
For some reason, it
Unfortunately,
is
the voice
showing
is still
turned
very
on,
low.
but actually, it is actually I was on mute. Can
Can
anybody
you
confirm whether I am on
leave a
mute or not?
message in the chat?
Your voice is नीलाब जो kindly mute
Shall I go back to the mobile? If the mobile was better, shall I go back to the mobile?
No,
was
sir,
better
your voice is okay. It was somebody else whose mic was on. Now it is off. Your voice is absolutely okay now.
Now it is better.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So during the production concept, basically, since because there is a large amount of unsatisfied demand, emphasis is on the affordability and availability of products. Affordability is directly linked to the price of the product and how many can afford to buy that product. This can be addressed by reducing the cost of production. Cost of production may be reduced by economies of scale. You produce more, and since you produce larger quantities, unit cost of production may go down. It may be improved by the better technology. If better technology is available, the cost of production may be, like say, from manual to semi-automatic, semi-automatic to the automatic, the unit cost of production will go down. So emphasis is on trying to reduce the cost of production by different means so that price can be reduced and it can become more affordable by a larger number of people. Second is availability, making product available as widely as possible by introducing the mass distribution. Of course, with the increased means of distribution available, improvement in the transportation means and all, the distribution is better now. As the economies progress from, say, developing economy to the semi-developed or developed economies, this production concept becomes extinct. Like in Indian conditions also, we can say that we are on the threshold of becoming a developed economy. It may not be relevant concept now, but still some of the developing economies which are still in the early stages of development, where the demand is high, supply is low, this production concept may still be relevant. The next important concept is product concept. When you reach a stage where the distribution and the affordability is not the constraint, next stage is the product. What do you do in the product? This thing is you try to improve upon the attributes of the product. Idea is that by that stage there are more than one manufacturers, each having different product, and they are able to satisfy the same need. So what will the consumer do? Consumer will try to buy a product which is either price lower or which is the one which gives him the more benefits. So what it means is that any firm who is able to innovate by trying to improve upon the attributes of the product, adding more attributes to the product, thereby improving the quality of the product, will have a better chance of selling their product in the market. Or if they don't do that, if they are not improving their product, they will become extinct from the market. Like some of the firms which we look at it, with the changes in technology, there are certain products which were having the dominance of the market have become extinct now. Like physical photo films, Kodak. Kodak was having 80 to 90% of the market uh, market share, and they have become bankrupt. They have closed shop because they did not improve upon their product, or they did not try to change their product to match the changes in the market. Nokia. Nokia was once having about 60 to 65% of the market share and declined. Now they are one of the small players in the market. They're still existing, but small players, so much so that they were bought by the Microsoft. Why? Nokia was basically into the high-end mobiles, and they failed to recognize the need, or the at the bottom of the pyramid, large number of customers who could not afford high-end mobiles, and they wanted cheaper products, maybe with lesser attributes. Because as it is, majority of us are not able to use all the products of a, say, mobile or even a laptop. We use only a small number. So products became the more dominant concept for the market. Next stage was the selling concept. Till now, it was that whatever is produced will get sold. Third stage in this was that you have competing products in the market, so you have to make effort to sell them. So there was large number of products, large number of sellers in the market. Who is able to sell better? Who is able to woo the customer? Is the one who will be able to get the larger pie in the market. So that more emphasis was on the persons involved in the selling process. They became more important component. Making the people aware, making the people aware of the attributes of the product, how they are better than that of the competition. That became the emphasis. Marketing concept is relatively of the recent origin. Marketing, even as a subject, is comparatively of the recent origin. See, there is a stage how much interference or influence of a salesman if a person is willing to accept. You cannot, like, even these days you find that people keep changing, from the, like in the TV channels, we keep flipping from the, when the advertisements come, we flip the channel to the one where the ads are not coming. Similar thing can happen with the salesman. If salesman approaches a customer, he may simply, by seeing that he's a salesman, he will say, no, I don't want to interact with you. So what was the way out? Way out was that you determine the customer's needs right in the beginning. Try to understand what the customer needs, what he will want to have, and produce only what he may need. Don't produce other things. So with the marketing concept, the emphasis started being built on the consumer who will buy the product, so that you develop only those products which he will in any case buy. So that is why you see the earlier concept we here talked of the needs, wants, and the demands. If a customer needs something, it will automatically convert into demand. You won't need the selling effort to convert into to a demand. So the basic difference between selling and marketing is that in the selling, emphasis is on the product, whereas in the marketing, emphasis is on the consumer needs. The holistic marketing is which has as a concept has come only that recently. Say holistic marketing takes care of the marketing not only outside the organization, but it says that you need marketing within the company also, internal marketing. So holistic marketing involves internal marketing, integrated marketing, and relationship marketing. Basically, that senior management has to sell the concepts for development within the organization to the junior level, or maybe the marketing department may have to sell certain ideas to the other departments. The development of relationship between the customers, channels of distribution, partners within the marketing function or other organizations, legal, community level, general ethics, environment, all those becomes part of the holistic marketing. See, what can happen is that if the stakeholders do not develop mutually satisfying long-term relationships, at some stage in the life of the firm, product, these relationships will be fraying. They may be, people may be shifting to other products, people may be shifting to other firms. Whereas idea is that you should be having a wider base of the loyal customers. It is much cheaper to retain a loyal customer than developing a new customer. Integrated marketing is again like different marketing activities. You mix and match them. And don't treat them in isolation. I think we have 2-3 minutes break here, or maybe 5 minutes. We'll resume after 5 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Continue with this link on the laptop.
Okay.
Shall we resume again?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Okay. The next important aspect in this is marketing mix. Marketing mix basically refers to the 4 Ps. 4 Ps is the term used for referring to the which are the components of the marketing mix. Product, price, promotion, and place. Combination of all these 4 Ps is called the marketing mix. Because these days sometimes it is said that packaging has become important enough to be considered a fifth P of the marketing mix. But additionally, 4 Ps is the term which is used for the purpose of production, and 7 Ps for the services. We'll go into details later, but people, services are given to the people, physical evidence, and the process. These are the 3 additional Ps which are added for the marketing of services. So in case of products, 4 Ps, in case of services, 7 Ps. And mix is basically a combination of these inputs which become part of your marketing strategy. Basic thing is that these 4 Ps of the marketing mix can be used in different combinations. Different combinations, like say there may be a stage where a new product is being introduced, and at that stage promotion becomes more important, making people aware of the what the product is, what the price is, where it will be available, and simultaneously keeping the price low. If you are entering the market for the first time and you are trying to gain a foothold in the market, normally a marketing firm will try to keep the price low. And if it is entering a market where already there are some products, then the idea is to keep it lower than those of the competitors. Because why will the people shift from an established brand to a new brand? Either they should be convinced that the product is better, or they should feel some incentive by way of the lower price. One example of this can be a Geo. Most of you must be aware that Geo entered just about say 5 years back into the market, and the dominant players were Airtel and the Vodafone. Idea was also having its presence. What did the Geo do? Geo offered the packages which were lowest in terms of price in the market, and simultaneously offered the handsets which were the cheapest in the market. And on top of that, there was a scheme that if you buy a particular handset and keep it for a certain period, even the initial cost of that handset will be adjusted in the monthly packages. Or you may buy a one-time yearly package or say 2 years package, and the set is free. The end result was what? 5 years later, what is the situation? Jio is the biggest player in the mobile market and the service provider, largest share. Of course, of late there may be some complaints about the quality of service, connectivity, and all those issues are there, but they have still within 5 years. Of course, they became the dominant player within 2.5 years itself, and they continue to be the dominant player in this market. Basically, what I was trying to tell you is that depending upon the different stages of the product lifestyle, market, types of consumers, a marketeer may decide to change the mix of these four P's in a way that emphasis is on any one or two P's of the marketing mix vis-a-vis the others. What has happened recently? Jio has increased the packages just a few months back. Of course, the others have also increased, but then it was felt that they need not be any cheaper than the competitors. So the marketing strategy has changed. That why should they lose the revenue which they can get in the normal course? Where so they have established themselves in the market. So price is no longer the dominant factor. So emphasis is not on the price, but maybe on the other components. So how do you develop a marketing mix? Trying to understand the market, that out of the four P's, which one should be given how much weightage in your marketing strategy? This is what the primary function is of a marketing executive, marketing manager, whatever terms you use, marketeer. First is to try to understand, define what your product is, what are the unique features of the product. And because of those unique features, which are the customer groups who will be interested in your product. You may do market survey to do this, trying to find that yes, this particular, like say again, if you take the example of mobile, what Jio did, what happened? The phone which they offered did not have internet facility. It was not in the smartphone category, but it offered the basic features. Basic features were send and receive a message, make and receive calls, music was available, basic camera was available, very limited this thing, low pixel. Of course, some of the harder models are slightly better, but that was it. So they played upon the market at the bottom of the pyramid, large in number, whose affordability for high-end smartphone was not there, but they wanted the facility to be available. And that was the reason for the success. Unique feature was the basic three features: messages, calls, and music. These things were available. And within a couple of years, almost every person who fitted into the lower income category, the labor class, had the mobile. So the second step is, after the unique features of the product, the understanding the consumers, what they need. People at the lower level, they neither have the tech knowledge, they are not that tech savvy to be able to use the smart features of this thing. They don't do the net banking. They may be doing at the best if WhatsApp facilities available, WhatsApp messages, nothing more. So product, understanding the product, understanding the consumer. Then third stage is Third step is understanding the competition. What prices your competition is charging? What kind of benefits are available from their products? Whether they are offering some discounts, whether some special offers are being made. Like in the case of Jio, they said that you buy the phone, their phone, and buy their package. After certain period of usage, the basic cost of the phone will be adjusted against the package cost. The phone becomes practically free. Next step will be try to understand that what are the places where the customer is likely to purchase this thing, where this product should be made available. Like if the customer is made to come to a far off point, he will be reluctant. He may not have the time. He may not be willing to spend the effort or the amount involved in the commuting to and from that place. So, wide distribution. Try to make it available through each and every corner shop. And it may not necessarily be the phones which are dealing with the mobile phones and similar things. It may be just the ordinary shopkeeper. He is having other things plus a counter for the mobiles or the related products. Next stage will be how to communicate all this to them. You have identified the audience, your customer whom you will be addressing, and you have fixed a price. Then all this has to be conveyed to your potential customers that this is the product, this is the price, and this can be had here. And these are the key features, and these are the benefits of the product. Then next stage is integrate all of these. You have identified all the elements. You make a plan trying to fit it into the overall strategy. All these factors are interdependent. They affect each other. You make a change in one, it will have its impact on the other components. So you have to mix and match and develop a marketing strategy where it will get you the maximum benefits. So far we have talked of the 4 P's. Any point in this, anything you want to ask? Okay, then we'll continue with this thing. Now we talk in brief. Of course, each one has its distinct features where all the 4 P's can be discussed in detail. But here, today being the first lesson, we talk of the basics of these 4 P's. As mentioned earlier, when we talk of a product, we are talking of a bundle of benefits or a bundle of attributes which the company makes available and bundle of benefits which the consumer seeks. So accordingly, a product is planned. Of course, if there is already a market for the same product, then you have the advantage of being able to know what is available in the market and against those, what are the features which the customers are unhappy about, what changes they need, what improvement they will need. Like again, taking the one example of mobile, which is a very handy thing because most of the people use it and easy to understand. In the initial sets, phones were made available by the Jio, WhatsApp facility was not there. Their operating system was different, which did not support the WhatsApp platform. Of course, they were able to penetrate the market, but to be able to expand the market, they, in the subsequent models and even in the existing models, they made changes in the operating system, which was downloadable over the net, whereby the WhatsApp facility also got introduced in the basic mobile phones. So, vis-a-vis the competition, you have been able to, the Geo was able to identify one deficiency which they had and which they improved upon in the subsequent stages. Of course, within the product, there could be different types of products, durable, non-durable, durable, which is a long life, consumables, fast-moving consumer goods like something, toothpaste, shaving cream, toothbrush, or food products. Then, of course, within that, again, there may be different brands, and trying to build up the brand loyalty, trying to build up the particular shape, size, product form, style, design. All these are the dimensions of the product which can be taken care of. Like for a product, the one change which was made by the firms was bring out the large sizes, family size, to introduce economy. That you buy a larger size, you get a cheaper rate. So your unit cost of the purchase goes down. There will be another segment of the market who found that affording a bigger size is difficult, like the ones who are earning on a daily basis or say weekly basis, and the income levels are not high. So introduce sachets. Shampoo, 2 rupee sachet, 3 rupee sachet. That you are trying to change the size of the product, the design of the product, trying to cater to the different types of market. So we'll be doing in greater detail when we talk of the products as such, which is full chapter devoted to that. And the next one would be price. Price is one of the most critical elements. Like there are certain sections of the buyers for whom pricing becomes very critical. Of course, it is not easy to decide, but you try to see it this way. That say in Delhi, the DTC provides the bus service, and there are different categories. No, there are two major categories: AC and non-AC. Same distance covered in the non-AC bus costs less. Maybe lowest I believe is 5 rupees, whereas in the case of AC buses, 10 rupees. For a common man, say a middle income person, 5 rupees difference is not much. You may take whatever comes first. Time is more important than the price. But there may be certain sections, like say labor class, who are working on day-to-day basis, earning on day-to-day basis. For them, even that difference of, say, for them it is double the price, 5 to 10. So for them, price is more important. They may wait for the non-AC bus to come before they actually board. It is just an example. Same happens with the customers in the market. There are different sections of the customers, different types of the customers, and different firms have to understand which chunk is how big. Their product, depending upon their product qualities and their product price, will appeal to whom. It may be a conscious decision on the part of firm to price the product low or price it high. But they have to follow a systematic procedure to be able to arrive at what should be the price of the product, and it is not one time. It is not one time decision. This is something which is continuously need to be monitored. They may have to make changes with reference to the competition, what the competition does. If the competition reduces the prices and offers the same quality, you may be forced to do that. Of course, if you are able to cut the costs and reduce the prices, your profitability will not be affected. But if you are made to reduce the prices without being able to cut the cost, your profitability will be affected and you may be driven out of the market. Place basically refers to the distribution part. Like you see in the market, for certain products, you don't have need for. Every corner shop offers those products. Particularly, say, fast-moving consumer goods which are of daily use, daily need, are available. Say, if you are staying in a housing complex, maybe there is within the housing complex there is a market, there is a shop. If not full-fledged market, maybe a shop which is offering the basics. Or if it is old-style residential area, each area has a what you call the corner shops, small retailers who stock these things, different type of products. The basic thing what happens is that you are not, most of the time people are not particular between the different brands of the product. Like say you normally use Palmolive, you go to the corner shop, you ask for the Palmolive toothpaste, he says not available, Colgate is there, you may readily change it. What can happen? Can happen is that the person may change the loyalties permanently. So a situation where the product is not available physically at the retail outlet may cause a situation where it may not be one-time loss of the sale, it may become a permanent loss of the sales. The customer may permanently shift to the different brand, different product. So making things available depending upon the channel. Of course, if you are trying to sell a car or say durable, any other durable like fridge, TV, washing machine, here the corner shops will not do because they are high-end products costing more. The buyer also will be willing to make extra effort to go to a place where he is in a position to make a detailed analysis of the different brands available, prices available, the attributes available. So for the durables, corner shops availability is not necessary, but whereas for the fast-moving consumer kind of goods kind of thing, it is necessary. Fourth P is the promotion. What is promotion? It also has different components. Advertising is also promotion, sales promotion, publicity, personal communication, personal selling. They're all part of the promotion. Like the one term which is used as reference to this is the promotion mix. Like we use the term marketing mix. For promotion, we use the term promotion mix. Components will be sales promotion, advertising, personal selling, direct marketing, and the public relation kind of thing. Now, advertising is when you try to place full-time advertisements, maybe in the print media or the electronic media. Again, here also, one distinction is made between the advertising and the publicity. In the normal usage, advertising and publicity are used interchangeably. Whereas when you are a marketing student, then you have to make a distinction. Advertising is paid for. You pay for it and you get your product or the service advertised in whatever medium you use. Whereas publicity is not paid for. One example could be that suppose a firm has its AGM, annual general meeting of the shareholders, and then a news item appears in the newspapers or maybe in the certain magazines which are related to that particular field, wherein the coverage is made of the AGM, what transpired, what the announcements company made, all those get covered. But this is not paid for. A journalist of the particular medium, person involved, he makes out a report after attending the function, and that is read by the people who are making use of that particular media. Now, important thing is that media, which media should promote, that you lose control over that. What should be brought out in that, you lose control over that, because the person who is making out the report, he may cover points which he thinks are important and may not highlight the points which you want to bring to the notice of the customer. Whereas in case of advertising, since you are paying, you are in a position to dictate content of the say ad which is coming, through which medium it will come. Like say, if it is a newspaper, whether it is the front page or the last page, full page or half page, or maybe just a column, that choice remains with you. And within that, what will be highlighted? What will be the points which you will want to highlight? That remains your choice. Personal selling, of course, is when the person goes selling them house to house, place to place. And then there may be other promotions, like you put up billboards, or you may set up a stall in some, say, Mela or say Heart or this thing, making people aware of your product. Or you may send, these days with the e-commerce thing, you may send the personal emails, the messages. Of course, these are becoming more dominant most of the time, for most of the people. Emails, of course, other media, other social media, the ads may be put up. So what we basically find is that there are different variables which are available within the each P. Like say I had made out a small presentation PPT, but I could not, because of this connectivity issue, I could not share it. And of course, this is not complete also. I can share that with you, but right now, if you want to say just one screen from your study material, I would like to present. Just let me try. You are able to see that it's part of your study material. You must have downloaded it, but it is better to understand it this way. So different components or different factors involved in the promotion are sales promotion, advertising, sales force, public relations, direct marketing. In case of a product variety, quality of the product, design of the product, features, brand name, packaging, sizes, services, warranties, returns. Like if your brand is such that people are loyal to it, that has its value. People may not shift to a new product easily, new brand easily. If your packaging is better, people may buy your product. If you are offering different sizes, say right from sachet to the family size packing, you have different components within that range where the different people will be willing to buy your product. These features for price as per the MRP or the list price, if discount available for bulk buying, for cash buying, for the individual or the between the making a decision individual or the groups or the industrial buying, payment method, whether you are buying it in cash or buying it on credit, and if on credit, then what are the credit terms? 10 days credit, 30 days credit, 60 days credit. Longer the credit term, you may be able to charge slightly higher price. You may be able to sell more. Then the place, channels, coverage, assortments, like different types, different locations. More locations you cover, higher the possibility of selling this thing. Medium of transport, inventory you are required to store. Because inventory carrying is also a cost. If you have higher inventory, there is a possibility of, there is not only storage cost, there is possibility of damage also. So the ideal thing is where the inventory is low enough, but such that there is no stock out position. May not result in a position where the customer comes and you say that no, it is not available. It will be available tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Important point is that all these features of each of the P have their bearing on the marketing strategy which you decide. And you have to keep a watch on all these factors. We'll be discussing later as we progress further what are all involved in this thing. But basic thing to understand is that market situation is dynamic. It is not static. New technology is getting developed. More entrepreneurs are getting into the market. New markets are being added. Changeover from the local markets to the interregional or the international markets is taking place. New and new raw materials are being involved. Consumers' income levels are changing. And with all that, affordability is changing. People's preferences change along with the affordability. So in this dynamic situation, the marketing strategy is not fixed. It has to keep changing. It has to keep changing to match with the changing circumstances. And of course, there are certain markets where the rate of change is very fast. There are certain traditional markets where the rate of change is not very high. Like say technology, communication technology, internet, but he comes under ICT. That is changing very fast. Information and communication technology. The term used is that the year is in the IT, the year is equal to 3 months. Every 3 months something new comes up. And if you are not keeping pace with it, you may be out of the market. Fashion industry changes are very fast. Fashion changes very fast. So in those kind of industries, the marketing strategy has to be changing much faster than some of the traditional industries like handicrafts like khadi, pottery, There are changes, but the rate of change is relatively low. So the marketing strategy may not have to be that fast. It may not have to be changed that fast. You can afford to take your time, assess the market. Again, one important thing which comes up is that most of the time we have talked of all these features, but you may not have all the information readily available with you, where you have the definite information about all these components. No. Most of the time you may have only part of the information, and you have to make do with the decision has to be taken based on the available information. You can't afford to wait, because if you take longer, by that time you decide your competitor may already be in the market with a different marketing strategy, with the result that what you have thought of implementing may be outdated. That is no longer relevant because the circumstances have changed. Entry of competition in a different format, different form, has changed the circumstances of the market. So deciding marketing strategy is something which is a continuous process, not one time. When you are introducing a new product, you may have to decide it initially, and then you have to keep a watch. And accordingly, you may have to keep changing the components of the marketing mix differently. Sometimes you stress more on the promotion, sometimes you stress more on the price, sometimes it is on the distribution or place, sometimes it is on the product itself. You may decide to modify the product. You may even decide to drop the product. If the product is not accepted in the market or a better product has come into the market, the companies may have to decide to drop the product. Like one example is say TV. Initially it was black and white TV. Does anyone buy black and white TV anymore? No. So many changes have taken place from black and white to color TV to high definition, ultra high definition, ultra thin, wall mounted. All those things are there. So it has to keep changing. Nobody produces, since no one is buying the black and white TV, no one is producing the black and white TV. No one is even producing the normal color TV. They all come with different features. We will close today's session here. The PPT which I had prepared, I can show in the screen, but doesn't help you because we have already discussed that. Hopefully, the next session, whenever it comes, we won't have these connectivity issues, and we will be able to have better interaction. Any point you want to raise or anything you want to that next session should be made this way? Any suggestions you want to make about the next session? If not, then we will be closing now. And next session, I don't remember offhand when the next session on marketing is, but I hope for the better interaction and don't have the initial hiccups which we had today. Thank you, everybody. Anyone wants to give a reaction on mobile or say on the chat message, please give.
Thank you. Very interesting session. Thank you.
Dr. Narayan, please repeat. Please repeat, Dr. Narayan. Somehow the feedback from your end, that sound is not very clear.
Nice session, but sir, on video, if you would come, that will be better.
Yeah, today, of course, because of the initially I had to do it on the mobile only, then I deliberately
Yes,
switched
sir,
off
from
the.
next class onward.
Next class I will do that. I hope
Okay.
we'll don't have this thing. Thank you, everybody. Then.
Thank
Good
you,
day.
sir.
Till we meet next.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
Thank you, sir.